What were you looking to do with Lou, and why was he able to kind of get what he wanted, or appear that way?
Well, we started with just switching everything with him. I was really disappointed in our individual defense down the stretch of that game. Our guys have been good all year at taking on that challenge, whether it was Lou or Austin Rivers, or I thought Larry did a very nice job on Blake, but the rest of our guys, we conceded. So we stopped switching, which has been a great defense for us, and we said we're going to start blitzing him. And even when we started trying to blitz him, whenever we did it correctly and got the ball out of his hands, were probably the only times we got stops down the stretch. And unfortunately, we did not execute defensively well enough to win tonight.
On the other end, what were you looking for, just lineups-wise, at combinations, trying to figure out Larry and Julius and Kuz and Brooke and that group down the stretch?
Well, we were trying to find the different. We needed to try to find a combination of scoring and defense. And we had to go to a lot of different lineups early because of foul trouble, and then we had some guys going offensively that weren't playing any defense, and then we had guys that were going defensively that weren't making plays on the offensive end. So we were just trying to find a nice combination of that mix. But I will say I was very happy with the way our guys competed tonight. There's little things that you have to do in the game of basketball to win, and we did not do enough of those, including fast break turnovers, trying to throw between the leg passes for unnecessary reasons. But that's kind of what happens when you're trying to develop a young team at the same time, and hopefully we learn from this. I told the guys they played hard enough to win, they competed hard enough to win, they just didn't do the little things well enough to win against a team that's obviously got some pretty good studs on it. For us, we had some good looks and then we forced some. And it looked, I wish we had the old timeout rule, because I would have definitely loved to use a couple more of them tonight. But it looked like even when it was a 1-3-point game, we kind of started to panic a little bit. And, when we did that, we didn't get great looks. A couple times that we got out and pushed it, we got to the free throw line, missed some free throws. I thought Lonzo had a nice over-the-top pass to Julius. That was, whether he could have caught it or not, it was a nice opportunity. But overall, execution down the stretch of the game is the hardest thing, and that's especially when you don't have the guy you can just throw the ball to and let him go. You really have to execute and set hard screens and cut and make that extra pass, and we didn't do that well enough tonight down the stretch.
This seemed like a winnable game for you guys. How tough is that to win?
Every game's a winnable game. That's why we play. There's no games that aren't winnable. It's frustrating to lose. It's frustrating to lose the Sacramento game before this. They're all frustrating to lose. But we'll be able to pull a lot on the film session tomorrow to show the guys, and we'll get back to work tomorrow.
You talked before the game about Larry just hoping that he's still going to make those winning plays. Did he skip a beat at all?
No, I thought Larry was probably our best player out there tonight. The way he was fighting, Blake's a handful on the post, and they run most of their offense through him. And he was active, he was grabbing rebounds, he was fighting. I thought he did a very nice job for us tonight.
Luke, over the last couple of weeks, against teams with lesser records, the guys haven't played as sharp and been more sloppy. Do you have any concerns about them not getting as dialed in for lesser record teams?
Yeah, absolutely. But we have all sorts of concerns. I think as a coach, all you do is concern yourself. Even if I'm sure Steve Kerr's got concerns up in Golden State as a coach. So, you're always looking for things you can improve on. And I agree that we've kind of been playing to the level of the record of the team we're playing, which is not okay when you are where we're at in this whole process. But that's just another thing for us to address and to work on.
We talked about the details. How much of the difference tonight was just experience or the lack of experience?
Well, I mean, I don't. Experience is very valuable in our league, but these are all things that our guys have learned, that they've gone through now. Now, obviously, being 1, 2, 3 years in, you haven't gone through it as many times as guys that have been in the league for 7, 8, 9 years. But nothing was new tonight. There was no surprising stuff that they ran. We played them once already this year, and our coverages, whether it was blitzing or whether it was switching or our normal coverages, were all what we've done throughout the year. So experience obviously helps, but it's not an excuse for us not to get those little things done.
Luke, when Lonzo picked up those 2 quick fouls in the third, what was sort of the thought process behind leaving him out there with 4 at that point?
Just because I liked his engagement at that point. He does such a good job of kind of getting us into a running game. He was out there competing, and I didn't want to pull him out then and then have to sit him the rest of that quarter and lose him being part of that fight tonight. So I pulled him aside and told him he had 4, and I needed him to stay aggressive on defense but make sure he doesn't foul. And I thought he did a nice job of that.
2 more questions.
Is his confidence something you all deal with every day, Alonzo? Trying to keep his confidence up in the wake of shooting struggles, things like that.
I think he's still pretty confident young man. I think with Zoe, he doesn't go into games really looking to score as much. So I think people make a bigger deal about him shooting and scoring, but he's out there just trying to win and compete, and he'd prefer to get teammates set up anyways. So I don't think I don't think that we need to focus too much on his confidence. He just needs to keep working, and I've found in this league hard work normally cures all. So he seems like a young man that has that mindset. He's willing to put in the time, and he'll be fine as the season goes on.